It is just shy of oppressively warm this July day, and the brief downpour earlier has cooled it just a bit, and there's that smell of evaporating water in the air as it steams up from the warm ground that surrounds me. It's been 16 years since that day, and since we got married. I've not visited the site yet. I've not felt ready. Not that I'm ready now. I'm changed inside after she died 6 months ago, and here I am. I love asking people for directions in Manhattan. I don't know why, but I just love the impromptu connection with another human being. Total stranger. Always makes me feel warm and connected with the vast web around me. Directions. 8 blocks more west and then turn south for 6. I'll see it in front of me. Hard to miss it, one nice young man stated. I check with a couple more people as I go, otherwise I get smaller inside this mass of moving people, and I don't want to get lost that way. I'm out of shape, and I'm realizing how my heart's talking to me inside my chest, saying, this is more than I'm used to doing. I'm wearing her teardrop bag over my shoulder, and it's getting heavier, and I'm getting really warm. My heart says, you're walking a New York pace, which is a little quick, and you better keep me hydrated or else I'm going to start playing some of those syncopated rhythms you like to listen to. I take out my water bottle and drink. I'll keep you hydrated, I say softly to myself, and then realize I said it quietly out loud and chuckle out loud as well. Manhattan, I'm just another out there character, and I'm loving just being me. I am a part of it. I was born in Brooklyn, I say to myself with another quiet smile. And my dad and brother worked here, my aunt worked here, my cousin worked in the UN building. I have tentacles here. People I know and people my brother knew were lost here. As I get closer, I start to thinking of the sheer numbers, the mass of people that I'm going to pay my respects to, and I have tears streaming down my face. God, I didn't even get there yet, and I'm a mess. But it's okay. Throngs around me. No one notices. I'm just another body in the crowd, everybody walking their determined New York walk, and no one studying my face. I have plenty of tissues with me. There's an instantaneous, unimpeded channel from deep down and out through my eyes for the flow, and they less frequently get trapped in my gut or my throat since she died. The wave passes through me, and I just tap the tissue supply in my pocket, make sure it's still there, and let the tears fall and just wipe them with my hand. Save the tissues for when my nose starts dripping. I love walking. The breathing, inhale for 2, exhale for 2 steps, the repetition like meditation sometimes keeps me from thinking too much. I notice I'm walking uphill now, as if I were earning my way to get here. I feel the blister on my left heel. I'm approaching the new buildings. There's a long bench. I sit down, dress my blister with ointment and a Band-Aid. Much better. I look at the new buildings, take in the architecture and the reflections of the surroundings and the sky and the surface of the building. It makes me pause at the top of my breath, till my brain says, breathe. I talk to someone sitting near me. He's from Oregon, and we briefly talk about assisted death, light talk, and then I approach the North Tower site first. I want silence. I want solemn in the crowd. I want respect for the dead, but I find a mix. Children running around, behaving, misbehaving, some parents attentive, some taking an oblivion break. I see some with tears, and to one middle-aged woman I offer some tissues in a silent but deeply felt understanding gesture, and she accepts without words other than a subtle shake of her head, and my eyes well up. I decide I can have my solemnity within and cast my own mood around myself no matter what anyone else is doing. I suddenly want to touch every single panel of metal etched with names. Each name's carved and cut through the panel so the lights underneath shine through, which is becoming more dramatic as dusk closes in. I bathe my hand in the water running under the panels and anoint each panel of names as I walk around, avoiding and honoring all the flowers and notes that have been placed in the etched names. Dip and touch, again and again, all around the North Tower and all around the South Tower Memorial, each about an acre in its footprint. The water is cool and feels liquid and alive and holy and sacred. I look at the deep hole in front of me and the water cascading down the sides and then down the sloped flat section and then down into the square hole, down, as if I'm being pulled down from where I'm standing to the center of the hole where so many had fallen and perished in the rubble, in the ruins, in a deep hole, never to emerge. But This spirit did emerge. It's in the buildings around me. It's in the hearts of those who are here now and those who will come. It's in the names carved in metal so we remember and never forget, ever. It's in the swamp white oaks. It's about 400 of them gathered around this site, and the Callery pear, known as the survivor tree, which, though badly damaged, was still alive after the attacks and nursed back to health. I hug it and tell it I honor its will to life, its strength, dignity, courage, and perseverance, and I thank it for teaching us about these things and for being patient with us to learn compassion and empathy. I touch all the names, not just for myself, but for all those not able to come here because they're too ill, too far away, too full of cancer, too old and infirm, too young to understand, and for those who have died and couldn't make it here, for Emily, especially for Emily, because we had a special shared experience that day, a day like no other. She is here with me. When I'm done and just standing there, I notice this young woman with the most unusually large and incredibly blue eyes I think I'd ever seen. And being in an unfiltered mode, I say, "Wow, I absolutely love your eyes." And she says, "Thanks," and we start talking. She tells me she's from Norway, here with her sister and mom, and truly enjoying this stay. We talk about feeling pulled into the sculpture, and share how we feel standing where we are, share a moment that's somehow significant, and she wishes me well and leaves to find her family. I suddenly feel an ache deep inside, amongst all these people. One moment I feel a thread connecting me to each and every one, and another I feel this terrible ache in my centermost core, pulled down with the water into an abyss of darkness. I finally need my tissues.